front of me is this humidity tray that I have some plants that are struggling or I'm trying to revive them somehow or the other. So this humidity tray has got like vents on it. So if you could see right now it's open, and I could close this down if I want to keep it completely humid in there. It's got two vents, both are open. So what I have in here are some plants that I'm trying to make them recover, having some problems in one way or another. So I'm going to take off this humidity tray, the top of it, and you can see it's just a plastic lid for this tray. It comes just like that. So here, let me start one by one. Okay, here I have a little seedling that the new growth. Let me take them out. This is the new growth that broke because this new growth, the sheet came off and it tied off for some reason. I don't know, the new growth didn't make it. This is Carmela's root key. See, it just broke off over there, and that is a new growth. So I'm not sure if this plant is gonna be able to survive. I just put it in some small bark with some sphagnum moss on top, just so that the sphagnum moss will just keep some moist up on top. So I don't see. Let me. So I couldn't see any new growths or any nubbins or anything at the base. So what I do is I just mist the top. Now the sphagnum moss is completely dry, but I just moisten the top because I think this was a little too wet and that's why it broke. So that is one of them. Let me put the label back on it. That's one. The next one up, I can say goodbye to this one. It's got rotten rots all over it. It's no use even showing the name because it just completely is rotten, and I don't see any new growths or anything at the base of the plant. So I could keep that away. Now other problem one is this. This is a label. Now this one, I don't see any. So this one has no new growths, no nubbins, no nothing. This new growth just rotted and nothing. It's been like this for a few months. Now it's spring, so I thought it might push out anything, and there is one hidden eye over here, but I'm not even sure if that is gonna even try to even put out any new growth. So over here I have, this is my plant, my zygopetalum, which lost all its leaves. I think the media got a little too wet, so I transplanted it, and this got 1, 2, 3, 4 pseudobulbs, and the new one, even that one, the leaves fell off. So I took it off. I put it in like a lot of sphagnum moss and a little bit of fir bark and perlite, and I don't water it that much. I see some new growths. There's one right in the middle over here, a small one right there. You can see it. This one didn't make it to, it lost its leaves too. There is another one right here. And there's another third one right here. I am barely watering this because now they're just living off of the nutrients that he gives on his mother soda bulbs, because this one doesn't have any roots and I don't want the roots to die out from watering it. So that's another one. Now, this was my flask that I deflasked, and some of the plants didn't make it. So this was my Brassavola nodosa that I deflasked on 7/2018, and some of the little plants didn't make it. There was like three in there, I think, that I just put in just sphagnum moss, just keep it moist. This is another one that I deflasked, just a Cattleya schilleriana by Brassavola nodosa. This also deflasked in 2018. This has two seedlings in it, so that's another one. Now the next one, like the zygopetalum, here's another one, just soda bulbs. But what happened was this is not my plant. This is somebody else's plant that they had cold damage and they lost a lot of the orchids. So she was going to throw them out. I took a few of them and I put it up on one of my YouTube. You can see it, how the damage is from the cold. This plant right now is trying to make a comeback. I'm not sure if it will or not, but I'm going to show you the new growths. Let me move this. It's actually right there. This one here and one very, very small one right here. See, right there. So barely watering it because there is no roots in this one. The roots are all dead from the cold. I had cut them all down. I put them in sphagnum moss, barely watering it. So that's another one. Here I have, this is my RLC Miyako Iraqi Volcano Queen. This is another plant that lost all its roots, and I put them again in sphagnum moss, just keeping it moist and hoping that it'll put out, the new growth will come and put out new roots, and the plant should take off. So that's another one. Now another one, just the soda bulbs. This is also another one from that cold damage that I cut the soda bulb. All the other soda bulbs were like mushy and rotten, and this was the only one that was a little plump. So took it out to cut all the roots out because the roots were all dead anyway. I put them in just plain sphagnum moss. Of course, there's no ID for this, so I'm not sure what it is. It could be an oncidium, it could be brassia. I'm not sure. It is one of those because on the shape of the soda bulb, it looks like it's an oncidium. So again, this is not mine. This was from one other a person who lost a lot of plants to cold damage. So let me move this out. Now here is my Angraecum Magdalena. I don't know why it's not growing. It's been like this. So it's been like this. So I don't know what to say. I just keep them in here with the humidity tray on top, hoping that it'll grow. Next up is another little seedling. It's a little Toshi partner, a little Toshi crossed with the golden cell lemon chiffon. This is a seedling and it doesn't have any new growth. Again, it's in sphagnum moss, but I see over here, I see a little new growth. So I have hope for this one. Oh, and I see a root tip. Do you see that? That is a little nice root right there, little one. So I'm gonna put the moss back in there and cover it up and keep it just the way it was. So I'm hoping that one will do good. Now this is my Dendrobium pericii that I got a few months ago when I went for the orchid show, and it was in sphagnum moss. So I took it out and I transplanted it. I think this is a Dendrobium that does go deciduous in the winter. So I transplanted in bark. I don't see any new growth yet. Not sure what the story is with that one, but my fingers crossed. I hope it'll put out new growth soon. So that one is in bark and a little bit of sphagnum moss. Now here I have, let me move this out. Up here is a seedling that I deflowered. I think that is I should know what that is. I think it is a Cattleya schilleriana crossed with Encyclia cochleata. I think that's the one. That's a seedling that I about 8-10 plants in it, and right now this is the seedling. This is a community pot actually that it's got a few plants. So that's also growing in my little humidity tray. So the next one up is this one. This one was also growing like this in a little pot, and I noticed that it did not put out any new roots yet, but it's starting to put out new growth. So here is the first little new growth, and I see another one. I see another one out here. See, right there. There's that one. And this one is, I just transplanted into this pot because it wasn't just sphagnum moss. And I said once the roots develop, I didn't want to keep disturbing it. So I put it in a lot of, it's got fir bark, perlite. This is from repotme.com their mix. So I put it in that. So hopefully this one the new growth should put out new roots, and it should take off really well pretty soon. Now the next one I have is this. This is my Cyclopses Mendenhall, Hilda's variety. And this one is when I was transplanting the plant. I had a bigger variety with a bigger pot. I'm sorry, and this part broke off from it. So I just stuck it in a little bit of sphagnum moss, just like this, and it was sitting like this in the media, and it was sitting like that in the media. I just put it and I pulled it out, and if you can see, it's got one new growth right here, and there's some action going on in here. I don't know what it is. Might be roots, but here is a new growth. So this one I'm gonna leave it as it is, and once the new growth gets a little bit bigger, once it gets a little bit bigger, I will repot it. So those are some of the orchids that I've been taking care of. So in my little humidity tray, hoping that pretty soon, because summer's here, it's winter, and pretty soon it'll be nice and warm, it'll be summer. And of course I have this one too. This is Toshi stoppers. This one I put in this tall glass, and wrap the roots with some sphagnum moss because it had no. Oh, it's starting to put something out here. Okay, good. And a new growth because what happened this is the oldest growth, and the new growth that's over here had the leaves died, and you can see some. I don't know what that is. It's just white over there. I'm gonna try to see if I can wash it off. This is just the older and older suitable with the leaf. And I see now that the new growth is just starting from out here. If you look closely, it's right there. So I'm hoping that it'll put out new roots, but I don't know why I see. I see. It's starting new growth out here, and I see something else happening out here too. See, there's something going on there. See, so that's probably why it's put out a new growth right there, and that's what the root is right there. So again, this is just in just sphagnum moss in this, like I just wrap this up like this, and I just lowered it into the glass, and it is just sitting in the glass with the sphagnum moss. That's it. And I left it outside because the plant is so tall that the leaf was just hitting the humidity tray, the top of it, and it just got bent over there. So I just left it sitting like that. So those are some of the plants that I'm trying to recover. I did a lot of repotting and everything. This is one of the plants that I repotted. It's Encyclia randii alba by self. It doesn't have any roots or any new growths coming, but it doesn't look like the plant is stressed out. I'm just hoping that because it's springtime and that it'll put out a new growth and new roots should emerge pretty soon. This is newly transplanted into this pot. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope to see you soon. Bye.